Hello everyone, Derek Floyd here, IK Multimedia. Welcome to DFlo's Audio Toolbox. This is the segment where we interview special guests who use IK tools to stay creative almost every day. And if you love the content you see here on the channel, please hit a like or subscribe so we can make sure we get you the most updated content as soon as it's ready. Now, as always, if you stay to the end of our show, you can win the actual product that we're talking about today. And today we're talking about the most amazing orchestral workstation that's ever been made, and that is Miroslav Philarmonik 2. This is the winner, gents. Now, our special guest today, of course, just happens to be a friend of mine. He's one of the most amazing producers out there and been around for a long time. Worked with Quincy Jones, OutKast, Justin Timberlake, just to name a few. And this gentleman has a story to tell you about Duke Ellington that you're definitely going to want to hear. So will you please help me welcome my special guest today, my man, Benjamin Wright. Benjamin, you there today, buddy?
Yes, I am.
Man, so glad to have you on DFlo's Audio Toolbox.
As you stated, he's been around a long time, so I'm old.
I didn't mean it like that. And I didn't say you were old, man. I said you've been around a long time. So don't cut up with me right now. You're one of the best in the business, and you have seen and done it all. So we are so glad you're here to talk to us today.
I'd like to clarify something. Okay. I've seen a few situations where they mention Benjamin Wright and Duke Ellington.
Yes.
That's what I want to clarify.
Okay.
I never worked with Duke Ellington.
Okay.
I used to work with a guy named Fats Ford when I was in the military. And this was a side gig outside of the military, okay?
Okay.
And Fats was a very hip cat, man. You know, talk smack all the time, 7 different languages. We just took his word because we didn't know what he was saying anyway, you know? But he talked so much that cats just didn't believe him. So one day he came and got me from the military yard, from the barracks, said, ride with me. And I was stationed in Montgomery, Alabama at the time.
Okay.
So we drove over to Alabama State College. And there was a sign out front says, tonight, Duke Ellington. So I didn't think anything of it. You know, he had been telling us that he played with the Duke, and you know, no problem, man.
Okay.
We found where the Duke and the band were. Actually, they were having a meeting.
Okay.
So somebody directed us, and we opened the door, and everybody's head turned around, and everybody went like, Fats! The cat's name was Fats Ford.
Okay.
Fats! Well, that was good enough for me at that moment to substantiate what he had been saying. Okay. Fats, even Mr. Ellington. Fats, how you doing? I mean, the room just went crazy with him.
Wow.
So he kind of introduced me to some of the guys, and then he took me up to Mr. Duke Ellington and made this introduction about how talented I was in the whole bit. Hey man, I wasn't talented.
Oh, come on now. We know you are.
You know, I was, playing just old guys in the band. I was just still a kid, still a teenager, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm from Greenville, Mississippi. I didn't know tunes. I just knew what was on the radio.
Okay.
Okay. And I'd be playing these funny chords, and the guys be looking at it like, "What is he doing?"
Mm-hmm.
But Fats would say, "Just keep playing. You're doing all right. You're doing all right."
Okay.
I would be so hurt, man. but after he introduced me to Mr. Ellington, I stood there with my mouth open, man. Mr. Duke Ellington was my Michael Jackson.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I don't remember what he said. He talked to me almost 20 minutes. I was just totally amazed. But I was so captured by him, and he was a favorite of mine already, that less than a year later, he passed away.
Mm.
And I named one of my sons Edward Kennedy Ellington Wright.
Okay.
Edward Kennedy Ellington is Duke Ellington's name.
Okay.
So I gave the whole name and put a Wright on the end.
There you go.
That's how much he meant to me.
Wow. Well, that's a great story, and see now I know the full story. So now
Yeah.
we have it all documented. It's a done deal
Yeah.
now. Now we understand. Now we understand. So the first question for you is, how long have you been in the industry? You've been a composer producer for years. How long have you been doing this?
There's a word called forever.
I know it feels like it, right? I know it feels like it.
Okay, I put it this way. When I came in, 60s, some of the recordings were still on 4-track machines.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Not the home machines, pro machines. That's all it was.
Sure.
4 tracks,
Yes, sir.
you know. And I always tell cats, like when you mess up, I'm not going to use the word we use in the studio, but when you mess up, we had to start all over.
Yeah, those were the days you had to know your stuff and play it right.
Oh yeah, you had to be on it, man. And everybody had to have good eyes in terms of reading chops.
Wow. Wow.
So then from that, we developed what's called intercuts.
Okay.
Okay, so you mess up, somebody messes up. So instead of having to start all over again, we didn't have punch in. You go back and say, give it 8 bars and say, intercut 1. So we try and match the tempo.
Cut tape. Cut tape.
Cut tape. Intercut 1. Boom. Somebody messed up again. Okay. Cut. Intercut 2. Boom.
Those were tough days, man. Cutting tape was brutal.
Man, the engineers had to do that.
Wow.
Maybe that's where the rappers got the scratching from, man.
See, you invented scratching before we even knew it was there.
Oh yeah. So and then you tape it all together.
Yes. Yes.
That was heavy. That was long before punch in.
Yeah. Yeah. So when did you discover that composition or composing was your passion? When did you know?
Well, I don't want to bore you, but like I say, I'm from Greenville, Mississippi. I played drums in the high school band, and we had a big band, like over 400 kids in the band. One band director. There was no help.
Wow.
And
he was busy.
Real busy. 3 of us got together to go talk to him and say, "Sir, we want to play what's on the radio at the football games." He said, "You want to do what?" "Yeah, we want to play what's on the radio at the football games." He said, "Well, now, let me see. I have competitions, I got parades, I got assemblies, I got this, that, and the other, and the whole bit. And you want to do what?" And he said, "Okay, go write it." And you're like, "Write it? What do you mean write it?" We're in high school, man, Well, we got together and we were able to write enough of the song, melody-wise, that people could know that's the song. I'm not going to describe what it sounds like.
So you actually wrote the charts, is what you're trying to say.
It was crap, man. It was crap. Everybody played the melody. That's all we could figure out. We couldn't do harmony and this and that and the other. No. And when we played it, everybody went, "Yay!" I mean, it was the worst sounding thing I ever heard in my life.
So when did you feel like you wanted to write your own music? How did that come about?
Right then.
Right then, huh? That was like, I can do this. I can write my own charts.
How people responded. I said, I want to write.
There you go.
And
There you
that's
go.
where it started.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Where it started.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, see, you have worked with some of the greats, and you said Duke you didn't work with, but he was one of your favorites. But you worked with James Brown, no? Otis Redding, Quincy Jones, Gladys Knight. These were all people you worked with, yes?
Okay, I was on the road with a guy named Ted Taylor
Okay.
in the 60s. Okay. Um, I got thrown out of high school. Uh, don't ask me why. I don't know. I was just out, you know. And that was very heavy because that was a time of big time segregation. I could not go to another school.
Mm.
There was only one black school in my town.
Wow.
Okay. So it's just you're just destined to fail.
Mm.
Okay. But God didn't see it that way. Uh, After my mom begged for me to get back into the black school, I heard her saying, I'm not going back. And Mom, I'm going to leave here and I'm never coming back.
Mm.
That led to a road gig. The road gig, Otis Redding was coming. James Brown was singing doo-wop at that time. There was no Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, no funk stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I was out there in that environment. Now, when you say Quincy, well, I had done a lot of work. And obviously, Quincy Jones was listening. I get a call one day. Benjamin Wright, yes. This is Quincy Jones. I'm like, Quincy who?
Wow.
Quincy Jones. I kept saying, Quincy who? I just could not believe that Quincy Jones would call me.
Sure.
It's got to be one of those guitar players playing games with me, you know. But the good thing about it, Quincy was so big and still is that he knew the impact he had on possibly young cats. So he didn't just cuss me out. He just kept saying, I'm Quincy Jones. Then he started talking about Michael Jackson. This was going to be Michael's first solo album.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. You know, and he's talking, but I'm still thinking in my head, Quincy, who? Then he gave me an address to come to. And the address he gave me was Bel Air.
Wow.
Hey, man, I ain't got no friends in Bel Air. I only knew where Bel Air was because it's right across the street from UCLA.
Okay.
When I first got to LA, coming from Chicago, first thing I did was I registered in UCLA Film School. So I had passed, you know, if you go west on Sunset Boulevard, you turn left into UCLA.
Okay.
Light right there. But if you turn right, it says, welcome to Bel Air.
Okay. Okay.
So I found the place, man. Found his house, and then this beautiful lady answered the door. Now, I'm giving you my whole story here, man.
I see that. You're going to take me there.
Yeah, the lady seemed very familiar to me. That was Peggy Lipton. Some of us remember her from Mod Squad.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that was Quincy Jones' wife. So I'm at the right house.
Mm-hmm.
Come in. Oh, Benjamin, we're waiting for you. Da 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 da. ICQ. That's the first time I've ever seen him in person. I've seen him on TV, movies, whatever. And the cat made me so comfortable, I was scared to death, man.
Wow.
Then we began to talk, and he told me that doing this thing on Michael, and we got to have some adult tunes. Michael has been singing kiddie stuff, whatever. So now we got to have, he's turning into a man. We got to have these kind of songs. So he gave me a song, and he gave me 30 days to write. I never had 30 days to write. And then 28 days out, I still hadn't written anything.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
What do you write for Quincy Jones?
Yeah, right.
He's got all the Grammys, all the Oscars, everything. Boom. What do? I'm nervous. And I could hear the voice of the Lord talking to me. Benjamin, you got a session in a couple of days. You're going to have to put some notes on that paper.
Yeah, you are. This is your shot with Quincy, man. You can't blow it.
Hey man, listen, I prayed, I asked God to give me notes, and then that's what I always do. That's my routine.
Well, there you go.
And I did it, and the day of the session, I'm so nervous I don't know what to do. I've never been nervous about anything. Okay. I get to the studio, somebody say, "Hey Benjamin." So man, who's that? I look around, it's Bruce Swedien.
Mm-hmm.
Here. I knew Bruce. Came out of Chicago. I almost grew up under him. Okay. Then he turns around and say, "Q, Benjamin's here. It's going to be a piece of cake." Oh, Bruce, I don't need no more pressure, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still
Sure.
nervous.
Sure.
The musicians come in, we run it down, then we take one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching Q in the control room. And since I've never been around him, I don't know his antics.
Mm-hmm.
And this cat is falling on his knees and whatever. It's like, man, I must really be messing up. Okay. I go in and found out that he was ecstatic. Wow, this is it. Da 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 da. I'm still nervous. My confirmation came when the session was over and he gave me another song.
Wow.
Now the first song we did was "Don't Stop Till You Get
Yep.
Enough."
Yep. We remember that song, of course. One of the biggest hits.
He loved what I did. The strings, the opening, and the whole bit. Gave me another song, man.
Wow.
That was my confirmation that he was satisfied with my work. The second song he gave me was "Rock With You."
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, I'm hitting home runs. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it sounds like you definitely started off on the right track with Quincy
I
Jones, Bruce Swedien, Michael Jackson, and the list goes on. And then you end up with Justin Timberlake and OutKast. And so I won't go back to those stories, but I wanted to give the subscribers a breadth of your work and what you've done. In the beginning, though, you would compose for the real people that would sit up in the orchestra. You had to give it to the string players and all that. How has technology changed how you compose? Do you still think the same way, like they're going to go to string players, or do you think technology has gotten to where I could play it on a piano with something like we're going to talk about here, Miroslav?
Okay, as technology began to come in, I was certainly, whatever came out, I had to have it. But I never heard anything in terms of strings because I'd be dealing with live strings. Okay, so I'm searching so I could put it in my computer. Nothing. Everything sounds really suspect. Then my wonderful guys at Multimedia came up with something called Miroslav. Whoa! I play with it. Couldn't believe what I was hearing. You can make all kinds of adjustments to it and the whole bit. I had to look up because God, have you come down to bless me personally? That's what Miroslav meant to me.
Wow. So here you are searching for the way to make technology's coming where you're like, I got to get something to make these strings happen, and you stumble upon Miroslav, and you're like, I found the Holy Grail. This is it.
That's it.
That's it.
And here's the funny thing about it. That goes way back, man. Way back. You were just showing up at NAMM.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, I say that because I've been going to NAMM since inception.
Mm-hmm.
There were no computers when I started going to NAMM. It evolved into that. Okay?
Sure.
So I don't remember exactly when the Miroslav came, but I had pretty much everything that was out.
Sure.
You blessed me. You truly, truly blessed me. Now, uh, I built a decent home studio. I can see 25 string players. Uh, I began to incorporate Miroslav with those string players.
That's
Okay?
how good it sounded.
Yeah. And my engineer, legendary Reggie Dozier, would say, man, why do you have all of these players here? And I'm listening to what you've done with this software, which is Miroslav. Won't you use that? And then I'm trying to explain to him that the intonation of the string players, whatever, I have to capture all of that. Uh, Miroslav was still growing.
Hmm.
You had the sound, but we're dealing with humans versus computer.
Right.
Miroslav grew, grew and grew and grew. Today, the budgets can be very respecting
Yes, sir.
because
No
I
budgets
got
for a big,
Miroslav, man. You know what I'm
no
saying?
budget for a big orchestra, but I can take Miroslav and get it done, right?
Hello. And then not only that, because you had a bunch of brass stuff.
Hmm.
It's like I don't have to invite all of these players in here. You know what I'm saying?
So
Now, I also look at it from a human standpoint because as musicians, we have to look out for each other.
sure.
We have to eat. We have to eat. So I'm not ruling cats out.
Right. Right.
I can do a whole lot of stuff by myself, as a lot of your customers do. Okay. Uh, the what you guys have put in there in terms of how the human sees it, how the human plays it, and the whole bit. You captured all of those little things, man. So that's why I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, I mean the articulations and how we captured the actual sample of the players. Miroslav did an amazing, and that's Miroslav Vituis. He's the guy who actually recorded these samples. Did an incredible job with the people that played this for him. So yeah, we definitely gave you the ability to give it breath and emotion, and like I said, articulation, and give it how to sway and move with music. So it has that depth of emotion that you just can't get with the regular string library.
It's
You know,
ideal for my writing. It's ideal for my writing.
so here's
Uh,
another question. And did Miroslav make it on any of the records that you produced over the years?
wow, you hit me in the head on that one because God has blessed me to do so much work.
Hmm.
And after Miroslav, let's say, let me go back to the 90s. Um, I can't pinpoint and say this record, that record, because I was doing it on everything.
Sure, sure. Well, that's
You know,
good. That's good.
not paying attention that one day I'd have to speak to you. And I'm being real about it.
Well,
Uh,
I guess the question really is, did it make it to records at all? And you're saying yes, it
yeah,
did. So that's a great thing. That meant, hey, this product sounded like it was supposed to sound. It gave you the emotion and the depth you needed, and it created that space on the record, and that was awesome.
some of the bigger stuff, man, some of the bigger names and whatever. Like I said, God has blessed me. Uh,
Well, let's do this. With so many great features with Miroslav, was there anything that helped you stay creative the most? What stood out in your mind?
well, let me put it this way: from a creative standpoint, that's me. I'm crazy, you know, and I'm always
Crazy
thinking
like a
on,
fox.
yeah, musically, okay. So if Miroslav worked for me because just those things that you just all the little nuances in the whole bit, the intonations, the this and that, and the other, that made it very comfortable for me in my writing.
Excellent.
Now I know exactly what the players are going to do. I put all of the articulations and whatever on the paper.
Hmm.
I could do that with Miroslav.
Mm.
You got all of that in the program.
Wow.
Okay, so it was very easy for me to hear exactly what it's going to be when I put 30, 40 string players together.
That's awesome.
And as my engineer would do, he said, "Well, man, why you bring all these guys?" Well, when I bring all the guys and I got the Miroslav there, we don't take Miroslav out.
Yes.
It
It
holds
adds
its
to it.
own.
It adds to, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, somebody crying about the budget. Hey, man, I gave you more than what you asked for.
There you go. Did you find yourself using the effects as well, like the reverbs and stuff like that, to kind of give it some body?
At home,
Okay, sure, sure,
at home. I can't do that when I have actual players because we're gonna with my engineer, he's gonna cut live, no edit, nothing. This is somebody who knows what strings sound like, and I don't want to be disrespectful to any of the new engineers,
sure,
but they haven't dealt with the real deal. You know what I'm saying?
sure,
So uh, what they know is what comes in the machines.
sure.
That's it. But I'm dealing with live players, and I'm incorporating Miroslav more than anything else in there with the live players.
That's
So I
awesome.
have to take out all the little reverbs and whatever.
Sure.
Da, da,
So
da.
Miroslav has basically become your go-to string library to
It
get your
is.
compositions done,
I
and you could
kissed it
choose
the other
anything,
day,
but you
man.
chose Miroslav.
I kissed it the other day. I thought it was my wife. Miroslav. Oh no,
Oh, you are
both
too
married.
much. You are too much. You are too much.
Man, I tell you.
Well, man, Benjamin, you have always been a pleasure to catch up with, and I just wanted to share with our subscribers about what you felt about Miroslav, and as always here at the DFlo's Audio Toolbox, we actually give away some of the software that we talk about, and today we're going to give away a copy of Miroslav. So for those people that are watching today, we're going to give away a copy of Miroslav if you put in the information. If you give me the two people that he talked about that were working with him with Michael Jackson. There were two
Yeah.
people in the room that he talked about specifically. If you give me those two people, then you could be the winner of Miroslav Vitoris. Miroslav Philharmonik 2. You can win this product today. So
Whoa.
let's see who's going to jump out and give me those two people he mentioned.
Well,
So,
I'm gonna name it first.
yes. And to
You know
everybody
what?
out there, subscribers, we sure do appreciate you stopping by DFlo's Audio Toolbox. We're going to keep it going for a little bit to be able to let you check out who's going to win. But thanks for stopping by. And Benjamin, thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Mr. Floyd, you're the man. God bless you, man.
God bless you as well, brother. Let's take care. You guys be good. Have a great one, guys.